Charles,
Yeah.
congratulations on the victory. Pretty chaotic in there from beginning to end. So I guess, physically, how you feeling after a scrap like that?
Tired, but there was a lot of adversity in it, and the only thing I could take from that is, whatever circumstance to come out with the W. I've had some losses in my career, that kind of change your perspective and help you grow. But I think I gave the crowd what they wanted, and we said it again.
And it seems like you had him scouted out pretty well. He found a little bit of success standing, and then you kind of, shot in, took him down pretty, seemed at ease from the outside looking in. So I guess, how did the game plan or the fight play out compared to, what you guys had planned in camp?
It was close, but then because of the blood, it made some of the takedowns look a little sloppier. And give him credit, man. Everybody in the UFC is tough. Even if he is coming off 4 losses, he's 23 years old. The kid is obviously good. Everybody in the UFC is good, so I give a lot of props and respect to him, and I got the win because I deserved it,
And then even when you did take him down, it seemed like he was difficult to kind of hold down. He was very active off his back, even, going for that knee bar and everything. So I guess, was that a surprise about how kind of squirmy he was down there?
Yeah, he was. He's 23. He won't stop moving. I was like, can this guy just chill the fuck out for a second so I can punch him? Yeah.
Talk to me about that eye poke. We could see your teammate Belal hyping the crowd up when they were chanting deduct a point and everything. So I guess, how impaired were you in there from that?
That was pretty bad. Yeah, I haven't had an eye poke that bad before, and I was just about to go back in it. I saw Belal, and then I look out in the crowd, and my bald manager's like, he says, "Take your time." I said, "All right." So I took my time, and even when I was trying to wipe it with that towel they're giving me, it wasn't helping much. I need to get the water because there was something in my eye. I don't know what it was. It was still blurry the rest of the time. And it was pretty awesome. It reminds me of the times of wrestling, when you go to Oklahoma State against Iowa, and they're trying to cheer to the ref to call a point. I've never seen that before, but I'll fucking take it.
That guillotine, how tight was that?
That was fucking tight. But that was the thing. That's these decisions you make in life. I think everybody can understand that when you go in there, you're really going to learn if you're about it or not. I had went through a loss with Mike Malott, Prates, whoever. But the difference between me and a lot of people is I can actually say I'm about that life. I'll put it on the line. And he would have had to put me out cold to get it done. And it was fucking close, man. And that's why I'm giving him all the credit in the world, because he can easily go out of the UFC and get back in the UFC and definitely be a world beater in time to come.
To go off of what you just said, I saw an interview with you earlier this week. I think it was with Full Send, and you were very reflective of your last, maybe especially the loss to Mike.
Yeah.
I guess, is that kind of a new feeling or approach to this, or I guess what was that about? Because I think it caught a lot of people off guard.
I think you got to be real about it. What am I gonna say? Mike Blott's a bitch. He fucking knocked me out. I'll be honest. If I were to see him on the street, I probably would fight him again. But the thing is, when he did it when it mattered. So to be a real man, you have to take it humbly and be like, yeah, I took my lickings. But I have a great role model in Belal Muhammad who had gotten knocked out by Vicente Luque, right? But then he rises back up, and he eventually beats him and wins a world title. So I have the best role model.
And last one for me, was it your aunt that you asked Joe Rogan to reach out? Have you talked to her since then?
I will. And I know she's going to love it, too, because she loves Joe Rogan. She would do anything. She cut off her leg to get with him. So I was thinking as the moment of because I'm not that type of person that would walk up to anybody, even Donald Trump, and try to get a photo with him. But I had to do it for my aunt. I'll do it for her. So I hope she loved that.
Congrats, man.
Thanks.
Charles over here.
Yeah.
Congrats on the win. Obviously, you shouted out your training partner, Belal Muhammad.
Yeah.
What's the most important thing he's taught you outside of the cage?
Racism. It's a beautiful quality. You can hate all races equally. Skirt. Next.
Speaking of having no filter, Sean Strickland is headlining UFC 328. What do you expect at that press conference?
I don't even care. I think Sean Strickland is doing his thing. He sells, right? I got a lot of love for him. He represents America well with all the autism that runs through it. So in particular, I don't really care about what's happening in the MMA space other than when my teammates fighting or I'm fighting myself. And I do have to get a shout out to my coach, Mike Valley, and also my brother as well too. These guys are huge parts of my team. I have a great management in Tiki, and what we're doing over here is we're doing special things. And I know that this wasn't necessarily my best performance, but I really do believe that this kind of shows my integrity and what I'm willing to go through to get a victory, because at the end of the day, this really is a chamber of truth, and you got to figure out who you really are. Thank you.
Right over here.
What?
You seem very calm and relaxed heading into this fight. Bilal
Yeah.
was kind of telling you to breathe and just, get in
my
that zone.
motherfucking dog.
Is that something you've been working on ahead of this fight, just kind of being more relaxed in there?
Yeah, my coach always tells me to, stay loose. Hold on. He's always just trying to tell me to stay loose. We do have power, right? Just chill the fuck out and let it happen, because we have all the talent in the world, and I feel like I'm making some good strides within my career if I can keep the right mental perspective and stay humble. I think my ego is my biggest enemy sometimes, because I do want to get in people's faces, and I do want to fuck shit up. So you heard the song I came out to, right? That's a badass song too. That shit gets me fucking hyped. But I was gonna go out to Pitbull's Cuban Ride Out. You guys familiar with that? That shit gets me too hyped. I would have been throwing off my underwear and shit like that and getting ready to fight this motherfucker with some baby oil. Who said that?
Charles,
What?
this was your first fight of 2026.
Yeah.
How quickly would you like to return, and how many fights would you like to do ideally this year?
Yeah, somebody asked me the same question. I'm on to the next one. I want to really, and I know a lot of this is joking, like to have fun and stuff like that, but to be on the real, I'm really happy that I got this victory, and I'm on to the next one. I think there's a lot of room for growth. I need to go back to the gym. I'm sure Coach Mike is holding his tongue, just allowing me to enjoy this, but we got to go back. We got to recover, assess, and we'll choose the next opponent. But ideally, I would like to get 3 in this year, but we just got to focus on to the next one.
And it seemed that you and Francisco had a bit of a talk after the fight. I don't know
Yeah.
what you told him. And, he's in a tough situation, right? 0-4, now in the UFC, just 23. It seems like you have a lot of respect for him. So I don't know if you have any advice for him and, and for his future career.
I told him I love him. I told him that, like, you when you do that and you go through that with somebody, and somebody is just as devoted to the game as you are, you can't do anything other than respect him. So if I would have any advice for him, coming from a guy who was 32 years old, trying to make his way into the UFC, and has a 5-2 record inside the UFC, I would just say keep grinding, man. Whatever happens, you can build yourself back up, get back into the UFC. He's only 23. He's got a load of time to grow, and you guys can see he pushed me to the very edge. The kid is an absolute stud, so I give him nothing but respect, but just get back on the horse.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool? What? Cool.